No one could have seen this coming from the Montreal Canadiens, as in this recent run, since trading for Alexander Carrier and activating Patrick Laine, they have done some unthinkable things, and Coach Martin St. Louis spoke out on exactly what is making the team click. We gotta dive into his comments, but it's not just that, Jesse, not just in the NHL, it's with Jake Evans trade rumors circulating. Two Habs center prospects have been playing well above expectations, and finally a perfect note on Lane Hutson, all coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. And let's just dive straight into our boy Lane Train. Gonna play the animation first. Lane Hutson, my gosh, Jesse, what is left to be said about him? 3 games in a row without a point. No one's even criticizing it. That's kind of a surprise sometimes for the amount of people at Hater Station that Lane Hutson is leaving behind, but he is officially the NHL Rookie of the Month with 2 goals, 11 assists, 13 points in 14 games. Montreal now has the KHL and NHL Rookie of the Month, as Demidov was also honored with that recently. If we go through his stats, you can pause and take a look at the box scores for the month of December if you want, but I'm going to move on to something even more impressive, Jesse. He is a second-round pick. He's third amongst rookies in points. He's behind only Celebrini and Michkov, and he has some other great stats. He's first in takeaways, first in block shots, first in power play assists, first in average time on ice, first in total time on ice, second in power play points, and he's tied for 11th in shots on goal. What is left to be said about Lane Hutson that we haven't said already? Because right now, the fact that he's even Rookie of the Month with Celebrini playing his first full month and with Michkov dominating is incredibly special.
And the fact that he's, on pace right now to be a point per game player, the fact of still playing, I think, so well defensively as well is just absolutely unreal. And I know we kind of been going back and forth, like, does he realistically have a chance at winning a Calder? Now, I wasn't quite sure, but it's just as the season's kind of going on, we got to get behind our boy here, Josh. We got to back him. He has a huge chance of winning the Calder right now, as shown by getting this Rookie of the Month, following after Celebrini and Michkov to get it. So that's going to be his competition. But, if either of those two falter a little bit, he continues his pace of what he's doing right now. Because, again, it needs to be taken into consideration. Being a defenseman, leading in that laundry list of things, right? Average time on ice, power play assists, assists in total, just all these things kind of go on for him right now. It's absolutely just phenomenal. It's the beginning of something absolutely historic here in Montreal, and we're just so happy to have him.
I mean, here's the thing. You talk about rookie walls, right? We don't know what's going to happen coming next season, or coming next year, I guess this year, 2025, as we turn the calendar over, but we haven't seen any indication that that's going to happen for Lane Hutson. We don't know about Michkov. That 5-on-5 production still has room to grow, but he's been amazing. Celebrini's been amazing. It's going to be a tight race, and I think tighter than anyone could have expected coming into this season, and him winning the Rookie of the Month is just more proof of proof of that. Let's get into the next segment of the video before I die here on camera. And we got to talk a bit about the centers, Jesse. I know the Jake Evans trade rumors are circulating, with a recent one that we looked at today, even Bruins fans saying maybe he could be a fit there, but pretty much every team is going to want their hands on Jake Evans. So naturally, you look at if he does end up leaving, maybe he gets priced out, maybe he moves, maybe he doesn't re-sign. There are some guys in the system that could replace him, Jesse, and the first guy I want to mention is Oliver Kapanen, who scored his 5th goal of the season on December 30th. He now has 5 goals, 12 points in 13 games, and if you take a look at the list of the points per game leaders in the SHL, Oliver Kapanen is 12th. He is 21 years old. He just turned 21 a few months ago. Everyone else above him is at least 24, which is insane. But as we know, Jesse, it's not just him. It's Owen Beck as well, who has 22 points in 30 AHL games. I know we talk a lot about Jake Evans, whether he'll stay or go. It's not up to us, unfortunately. But what we do know is that we have 2 guys in the system right now who are outperforming, I think, all of our expectations coming into this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just phenomenal to see that Kapanen is basically performing at a point per game pace in a pro league right now. And again, this graph shows, in comparison to his peers, how much younger that he is. It really shows how he is destined to play in the NHL one day. So the Montreal Canadiens not only did a great job by drafting this player, but also made a solid move in his development by bringing him over to the play in the SHL this year, because, it wasn't quite his time in Montreal, even though we're kind of turning that corner. Obviously, in retrospect, I think just getting a little bit more of that time, the biggest thing with him is just kind of growing, maturing. And that's it's kind of like a very, gives you a lot of comfort about a prospect when you feel like that's all they need to do is just kind of grow, because they got all the other attributes, right? So obviously, I think that Kapanen, for that reason, projects very nicely at the next level. We see Beck as well, what he's doing. It's not easy to get those 22 points out of 30 games, like
Crazy.
in a pro league as well, in the HL. So like the fact that these guys are playing so well, this absolutely comes into the whole Evans situation. Absolutely. There's also Xhekaj, who's also a center. Just because they play the same position, maybe not the same part of the lineup, still factors in. Like Xhekaj is having just a phenomenal year, right? So Evans is feeling that heat. Maybe that's not the only reason why he's having this breakout year, but definitely going to factor into all of this.
It's tough, right? I mean, look, I don't want to make this another, super long Jake Evans discussion about whether we should sign him, trade him, all this stuff. But it is very comforting, as you make a fantastic point, that like just to know that these guys are here, right? Not just Kapanen and Beck, but like Xhekaj, like you said, who is also having an unbelievable year in the NCAA. And if he was on Team Canada for the World Juniors, they might have been winning some more games.
Come on.
But I digress. That's all right. That's Team Canada's thing. There's probably going to be some changes after this year. But right now, with Kapanen and Owen Beck's performance, two right-hand shot centers, easy to project them to fill into that bottom six role. And if Evans gets priced out, I'm just saying we have a lot to look forward to for the future. But we'll stay on positive notes now, Jesse, as I want to move into the final topic of this video. And, Montreal's been rolling. That's no secret. And Martin St. Louis had some interesting comments about it. I just wanted to show you guys here. We're going to pop it up. He said, they're learning what they're capable of, but it's not only what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. They're willing to sacrifice some of their individual stuff for the bigger cause. You see it. The bench is so dialed in. And to me, this is an incredible thing to hear from a coach, right? We've heard a lot of the season, right? Wasn't one of the biggest criticisms that Montreal wasn't dialed in for the whole game, right? We played 40 good minutes and not the whole game. But there have been two key moments that have set this team on the right path. And the first one is Patrik Laine being activated on December 3rd. The second is Alexander Carrier being traded for. Here's a graphic for you. You can see on December 3rd, that's when Patrik Laine joined the lineup, and Alex Carrier was traded for on December 18th. Since Laine has joined the lineup, Jesse, the Habs are 9-4. Since Alex Carrier has joined the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Justin Barron, they are 5-1, with the only loss being a bad collapse to the Columbus Blue Jackets in a game that we very much should have won. I think it's tough to say it's just these two guys, but getting that second line stability, plus that incredible veteran defensive presence, as him and Guhle have been one of the most solid decors in the league since he's joined, it just goes to show how close this team was to taking that next step.
Yeah, it's all about the team effort, and we're talking about Hughes, Jeff Gordon is part of that team as well, kind of equipping them with what they need. I think we're actually perfect right now in the Marty Beard era.
Yep.
I do digress, but 5-1 with Carrier being here right now. And as we see in his quotes, he's saying really the gist of it is playing the game the way it wants to be played. And that's not going to be flashy all the time, but dang, do those wins ever feel good? And we see a lot of other teams having success. The Devils too, they're not afraid to get the puck in deep when they have to. They're getting success as a result with the Montreal Canadiens. That's a big shift of the team really buying into the system, but also getting some players that also aren't afraid to really play that type of game as well right now. I still don't know, Josh, how we got Jeff Gordon and Hughes to trade, Carrier for Barron right now. I don't know how Trotz did that. For me, with what's going on that season kind of already, they need to stop the bleeding. I know for the money they're getting, anyway, this was just a piece of work again by Kent W. Hughes. We got to throw it up again for him here, because obviously we just see it this is paying just some huge evidence why, Kent's doing in the kitchen right now.
Oh, he's cooking. He's cooking right there in the Habs kitchen. My gosh, he needs to clean up just a little bit, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's where he thrives. Maybe that's where he makes his best deals go down. But you're 100% right. I think it's more Barry Trotz than it is Kent Hughes. But hey, you never know. Maybe Kent's I don't know. You never know what kind of negotiation tactics he has. But I think the biggest thing too, Jesse, one of the biggest things is you look at since Carrier joined the team, the most goals Montreal's given up in a game is 5 to Columbus. And even if you include that game in this recent 6-game stretch since Carrier joined the team, they gave up 4 total plus 9, so that's 9 plus 4. 13 goals over 6 games. That's just over 2 goals against per game, Jesse, for a team that was giving up the most goals and the most shots against for the first couple months of the season. I don't think that can be understated. Maybe just a final little note on how much of a difference, at least seemingly so far in this small 2-week sample size, that he has made on the defensive ability of this team, because that to me has been the biggest visual change. We've been scoring a lot. Line helped with that, but a lot of that production's coming from the fourth line, right? And you're getting the first line coming too. You got Heineman just third in goal scoring among rookies. He has 7 points in his last 8 games. It's not just Line doing that. Stability of the second line helps, but the fact that we're not giving up too many goals against is what's allowing us to win these games.
Yeah, 2 things exactly Montreal need: to score more goals. They're at the bottom of the league of that. and to prevent goals against, which are in the bottom league of. So we're seeing Laine and Carrier, and also the ripple effects of having the right players in this position. Sometimes you're not far away. You just need the right fit. Again, Kent Hughes was really putting the emphasis on that. And was he ever right? And really, Josh, as you mentioned, it starts with the structure. It comes from like not having those blown assignments, people knowing who they have in the defensive zone, making the right decisions to get the puck deep first in the first place so you don't have to deal with those situations as much. It really, like, that's what's translating, obviously, the structure, the defensive game that we're buying into the less goals against, everything else. So this is absolutely phenomenal. It does tie in. Marty St. Louis, like, how the team is playing right now, this matters so much to them. The fact that they're having this structure, like he lives, breathes, eats hockey, right? Like how this team plays matters. The fact that they're kind of buying in, making the right decisions, just being smart with it, I think is a nice reward to a coach, who's had some up and down in his time in Montreal.
Where's that Fire Marty crowd now? That's just what I'm wondering. I still see them out there every now
Oh,
and then, but
say it.
I'm just saying. Also, like, let's be fair. I mean, it was only a few weeks ago that Montreal lost 9-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I get it. That was a horrible game. However, like, this team's going to have ups and downs, and I think some of the reactionary takes, hey, it's all in good fun, I assume, but like right now we're seeing that potential come to fruition with what Marty has laid down, Jesse. But I want to hear the thoughts of all the fans down below. What do you think has been the biggest key to the success? I'm an Alex Carrier believer. Since the first game, Jesse, we were both on that train of like, this guy is making a very noticeable difference already. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, because that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. We are nothing but optimistic here in Habs land. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. You guys have been supporting like crazy, and we could not appreciate it more. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.